Graham, you just shared a lot of really good information about web metrics, but you also had a lot of caveats. And one of them that I was really interested in was the notion of not paying so much attention to metrics as much to the journey of the user through a site and stuff. Can you talk a bit about that?
I mean, I think this is something that we've tried to do in print for a long time, right? It's not, when we talk about measuring print, we don't just talk about whether or not the magazine made it through the mail slot. We talk about what people love about a magazine. And I think the same thing is true of measuring online, is that we can't just be looking at did they visit the site or did they not visit the site. That's, it's somewhat nice to know, but what you really want to know is how people feel about your site and whether they're finding the things that made them love you in the first place when they get there. So what I want to see from a web analytics perspective is not people hit the page. I want to see, did they read it? Did they read something else? Did they find what they were looking for? And did they care about it enough, perhaps to tell a friend? And if you can get that, I mean, I think that starts to build the kind of relationship that we worked really hard to build in print, and we have to do the same thing on the web.
Now, just speaking about the difference between print and web, one of the things you also pointed out was that it's not a good idea to base print editorial decisions or even behavior of tablet users based on the analytics you're getting off of Google Analytics or whatever other tool you're using. Can you discuss that a bit?
Context matters, right? When we are looking at the web on a desktop computer, we behave one way. When we are sitting on the couch with a tablet, we behave a totally different way. That's different again from someone looking at a smartphone in an elevator for 30 seconds, and that's way different than someone sitting down for quality time with a print magazine. People behave very differently based on their context, and so I would be just wary of basing decisions about one of those contexts on what we see in another. And I think it's getting harder because we have to, it feels like we have all these plates spinning, right? There's so many balls in the air, we have to keep track of 4 different platforms, 5 different platforms. That can be exhausting, but I think we have to make the time for that and treat users who are coming to us in those different mediums with respect, and respect their time and how they've chosen to interact with us. I think it's not that there is no knowledge to be gained about who our readers are and what they love based on whether they read something they really like on the website and something that is also available in the print magazine. I would just be wary of connecting those two things and drawing one-to-one conclusions between them, because I think that the way that people think about us in those 2 different mediums is so different.
And you also were saying that you need to be wary of just sort of staring at data, but rather you should be looking at trends and paying attention to longer term things. So more like not worrying about the weather, but worrying about the climate, right?
That is, not worrying about the weather and worrying about the climate is the best analogy I've heard about that, actually. That's really great. I wish I'd used it. But yeah, I mean, the problem is that digital media has allowed us to track more metrics than ever before, and we are adding more all the time. And it can get exhausting, it can get it can be kind of hypnotic to stare at the lines and watch the lines go up and down. And I totally get that. I've done it so many times, but I want to protect against it, especially when it comes to making important decisions about our business and about how we talk to our readers, because I don't think that they tell us, I don't think that tells us a lot about what matters to a reader. Only editorial judgment in concert with data can we really win.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.